Hey everyone, it's Sally again on another Magic Mod Moment. And today I'm particularly excited to be sitting here and having a chat with Lorrie Brook, who's located in Emerald, which is on central Queensland. So hi Lorrie, and thanks for coming along today.
Hey Sally, thank you so much for having me. I can't wait.
Yeah, we had a bit of a chat the other day, and that was pretty exciting. So here's a little bit of an intro to Lorrie. Lorrie is a mediator and a conflict resolution coach who works with parents who want to do the best for their children. When people are going through separation, divorce, or in general just having a crappy time within their relationships, conflict can be high. So goodwill is low and emotions can be all over the place. It's even more difficult when there's no one-size-fits-all solution. But Lorrie is here to enable parents to be the best possible role model for their children so that they have the opportunity to have happier and healthier relationships when they grow up. When Lorrie looks at the impact that we get to make today, what lights her up the most is that a child that she'll probably never even get to meet grows up with their parents who they know love them, care about them, and whether they live together or not is completely irrelevant, because they know that they are safe and loved. Wow, how apt is what you do in this day and age, Lorrie? Like ridiculous, divorce rate so high and all these situations with kids, and I'm one myself. So wow, fantastic. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your journey of how you've got here today and some of the challenges that you've come along the way?
So my journey started off over 15 years ago now. I went through university, I studied law, and then I kind of fell my way into family law. And I did my training, which we called articles back then, and really enjoyed the family law aspect. And what I enjoyed more was that the work that I got to do with my principal solicitor, she represented a lot of kids. And in that process, I went, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to be, because that work just was amazing. I really felt that you got to make a big impact for the families that you are helping and the children, because they're the ones who are placed in the middle. They don't get a say if mum and dad stay together or, break up. But they're also the ones who generally have to travel between the homes and have to, uproot their life to make that fit for mum and dad.
Yeah.
And so that kind of continued on for a little while. And then I got to be the independent children's lawyer myself. And I kind of went, yes, that's what I want to do. And then it kind of hit me that, yes, you're doing what you want to do and you're making an impact, but there's so many other ways that we can actually help these children and these families as well. So then I started to look outside the box and go, what else can I do to make this impact? And so that led to the creation of different programs that I have and different platforms. And then it kind of got to the point where I went, oh, I don't think I can keep working as a family lawyer anymore. Like, it was too much of a family struggle for me. Right. We moved from Brisbane to central Queensland, and I wanted to make sure that, I could pick up my daughter from school and do all of that stuff as well.
Yep.
And so then I kind of really stepped outside the box to think about how can we help and how can I maintain my involvement in the area? Because at the end of the day, these children are what get me up in the morning, being able to make sure that, you see the kids out in the street and you go, I don't know what their home life is like, but if they're happy and they're healthy and they're having a good time, most people will look at that and put a smile on their face and go, that's really nice. And that's what I want to see for everyone. So it just kind of continued to snowball down that path. And eventually I was doing mediations and I thought, I'm helping so many families individually with their conflict resolution.
Yep.
But that can be done on a broader scale, which is why I then set out and created a program to really help families, whether they're together, whether they're separating, whether they hate each other in the household but can't leave for whatever reason, just to be a little bit happier and just to be able to talk and communicate so that the children feel a little bit more settled in all of that. And I think it's a great tool. Like, no matter what, it's a great tool to be able to teach our kids different ways to resolve conflict, because they'll have it in the schoolyard, they'll have it as they get older, but they'll also have it for their relationships. And when we've got such high rates of domestic violence and separation, and even just the feelings of unworthiness and that we don't belong generally, if we can feel a little bit better within ourselves and communicate well, then it's going to be beneficial for everyone.
Wow, I love this. Oh my God, I finally met a lawyer who cares. An oxymoron. It's like, it's ridiculous. Like, that's fantastic because, just back to divorce and separation, the kids are the silent victims here, who it's just a victim of the circumstance, so to speak, and having gone through it, and it was traumatic just to go through the process as the adult doing it, but then the flow-on effect, and you never want to hurt the kids. And it's just like, wow, conflict resolution, like I say, you're applying those principles in the playground everywhere. It's not just, you don't have to be splitting up. There just might be conflict within the relationship, within the setup, the network, whatever it is, and then applying some skills and tools and techniques to find healthier, better ways, because you're so bang on. Life's too short, and it's about having fun in all the moments and being happy. It's just like, whoa, there's so many sad people in the world, and it's been challenging the last couple of years. So even conflict resolution over getting our mindset around what's going on at the moment. Oh, I love it. This leads me into my next question, because I think I've half got it anyway. But what is your superpower? What is your magic? What is your essence?
What is my essence? Conflict resolution, but also being able to show people the solutions.
Yeah.
To show the way that we can do conflict better. Because it's not about eliminating conflict. I think that's an unrealistic expectation. We're always going to have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
But creating that good history of doing conflict, that's really powerful, because then we feel safe and we don't feel scared in being vulnerable in giving our opinion.
Yeah.
To think that, the relationship's going to end, or I'm going to get in trouble, or they're not going to like me anymore, or whatever the consequence may be that you're fearing. You'll be safe in being able to express yourself and actually communicate.
Just having that safe space to say how you feel is so important. I think part of your superpower, though, is it is helping people with solutions to do conflict, but doing it in a caring way. I just see, you emanate empathy, compassion, and really understanding as well. I like that, empathy, understanding and compassion. I think that really sums you up as well, because it's, as you said, conflict, it's like stress. It's just it's actually good in some ways to have a little bit of conflict or some bit of stress in your way. There's healthy stress and healthy conflict, and it's finding the resolution path that is safe, but also productive as well, getting ways to get out of it, problem solving, so to speak. So that's what you do, problem solve. So with the type of, you work with, as you said, not just divorced or separated, but even people with conflict within their families and stuff. What do you think is the biggest issue facing the clients that you work with?
The biggest issue that I would sum it down to egos and pride. When we have those arguments, and I don't think it's a generalization to say that we all have those arguments where we just want to be right, and we want to prove that we were right, come hell or high water, so to speak. We're going to get all the evidence we can to support the argument that we have, whether it's necessary or not. And a lot of the time that is our ego and that is our pride coming to the forefront. And we don't want to feel small, we don't want to feel inadequate, and we don't want to feel wrong. And so it's showing people that we can leave them. And I actually have names for our ego and pride. I call them Eddy and Penny.
So what did you say? Eddy and Penny?
Yep, Eddy and Penny. Eddy ego and Penny pride. And to say it's about leaving Eddy and Penny at the door. They're not welcome in our home at that particular point in time. Being able to have the conversation without them present.
I think that's so important, because there's so much hurt. There's so many emotions that are flowing through the bloodstream, all these emotions, high and lows. And of course, it's a defensive mechanism, right? And so you've got it up there. You've got up Eddy ego and Penny pride, and it's nobody wants to be trodden on or feel hurt, but it's just that there's bruising there, there's hurt on the inside, and it's just a coping mechanism. So look, you give me goosebumps with what you're doing, because it's so important, and it's everywhere. Everyone can do with finding some tools on how to resolve conflict in a healthy, happier way. I just love what you're doing, and I can feel it all. So, over your experience and everything that you've learned through your wisdom, knowledge, experience, and etc., what are 3 top tips that you could impart to people who are going through conflict themselves?
Number 1 is to take note of your thoughts. So to really get up on a ladder, and it's almost like you're having a bit of an out-of-body experience and just looking down on yourself.
Yep.
And thinking about the thoughts, or well, taking notice of the thoughts that are going through your head. And is it something that you've just grabbed hold of without there being any reason for it? Because we have this great ability when we've got all these thoughts swirling around to let some come and go. You can pick a time where you've forgotten to get something from the grocery store when you've gone down there, because that thought's just come in and gone at the same time. And then at other points, we kind of grab onto something with no reason whatsoever. That becomes that whole, they hate me, they're going to get mad at me, we're going to end up in an argument, it's never easy, they're always this nasty to me, they always call me names, it's, and we can come up with all these reasons, and becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And so to pay attention to what those thoughts are, and whether, you're grabbing hold of something for no particular reason. The next one that I would say is to not try and resolve conflict when you're in the midst of it.
Right.
So when you are both there and you're both having an argument, all that's happening is that you're kind of butting heads together. You can't see the other person's perspective. You can't be objective, because, you've got Eddie and Penny standing there right next to you, and you're on. So you need to take a break, and sometimes it's a little break, sometimes it's a longer break, but you need to be able to take a break and stop thinking about the actual argument. It's not a break to go away and come up with more supportive evidence as to why you're right. It's a break to go away and actually stop thinking about it, and then to come back and actually, consider, were you arguing about the actual issue, or was the issue something underlying that? And a great example for that is having an argument about how you stack the dishwasher, or how you do the folding up, or how you hang the washing out on the line. That petty stuff. But you kind of, something happens, and it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. And so you never do it right. I've told you how to do it. You know how I like it done, and it's never done that way. And so you're arguing over that. But the underlying issue there is like, you're not feeling supported, you're not feeling appreciated, but you're not actually arguing it. You're not actually talking about what's really important.
Yeah, of course. Scenario. So you need that time to reset the energy, right? Just walk away, shift the energy, break it, and reset, so that it's,
do a dance, sing, go out in nature, whatever it is that you need to calm down in all of that.
Love it. And what's the third one?
So the third one for me is feeling confident within yourself. So I think it's really important that we pay attention to how we are feeling. And that we're not taking on what we think other people think about us, or what they might be feeling about us. Knowing that if somebody else is having a bad day, we don't need to take on that energy and get cranky ourselves. And if they're, wanting to have a little bit of a chop at us, if they have, if they're being a little bit sarcastic or a little bit nitpicky, you can go, you know what, they're having a bad day. That's their issue.
That's their stuff.
It's not mine.
I'll take it on. I love that. That's where letting go of other people's judgments, putting up those boundaries, that's their stuff, reflecting it back. I love it. 3 very healthy tips there. Absolutely fabulous. So, I mean, you've gone through a bit of a change, doing law, then going into family law, and then choosing the balance in your life to spend more time with the family. And so developing these programs and things. So over this sort of time of transition and transformation within yourself and your business, what do you think you've sort of let go of? How have you stepped up, and how have you become more of your authentic self over this time?
I've had to let go of a lot of my own fears in terms of what the profession would think. The law is a very traditional profession, and it's very hard to be able to stand there and say, I want to do something new, I want to do something different, and actually carry through with that. So that's been a big challenge, and to actually then educate the profession as to what else is available.
Excellent.
That has been huge.
That's massive, because you're talking old school, like people still wearing the wigs and the old gowns. It's steeped in tradition, all of the legal area. And so then to sort of come in with this new approach, so to speak, where it's more empathetic, more caring, like as I said when we started off, a lawyer who cares, like, I can say that because I'm not a lawyer, but they're very few and far between. Having gone through a divorce and had a lot of my girlfriends and very close to me go through divorce, I can honestly say it's been very hard to find a lawyer who actually really, really cared. It was all about stringing it out, more money, didn't really care about the emotions that are going on behind the scenes, and definitely not about the impact on the kids. Like, appalling, it's just they're the innocent bystanders here. So yeah, I really respect what you've done and how you've taken it on and overcoming those fears, because there must have been lots of like niggles inside and, whoa, this is heavy, I'm choosing to do this and standing in your power. Good on you. Go girl.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So at the end of the day, what is the thing that really makes you tick? What you're so passionate about? What drives you to get up every day and keep going?
The kids.
Yeah,
the kids, seeing those happy faces, and and like I said at the start, it's not necessarily that what's going on in their personal lives or anything, but I have an 8-year-old, and so to be able to see her and her friends smiling and happy and running around together and playing, and I just want that for everyone.
Yeah, no, I love it. So how are you doing that? Is it online programs, or what sort of structure do you have for?
Yeah, so I do an online program over 5 weeks, and what I try to do is with all of my programs is make them as convenient as possible to the parents, right? So they're all self-paced. Because one thing I understand, especially from my time when I was practicing, is that when you're going through this, you've got so many other concerns going on in your head, like, how am I going to pay the bills? I've got to do school pick up and drop off by myself now. I've got to remember to get that loaf of bread on the way home, so I've got lunches tomorrow. You've got all of these other things that to take time off to do courses, to go away on the weekend to do a course, to have to, find a babysitter to go out and do a course at night. It's just an added stress.
Yeah. And that's right. Yeah. It's just,
you don't need it.
You're processing so many emotions, right? And then you've got the commitments that you just can't get out of. Kids need to be fed. They need to get to school. They've got to go to bed and got to do the washing. You've got that practical stuff as well as the emotional stuff you're processing. I know, because I've been there. It's just like fetal position at nighttime at some stages. Just, it's heart-wrenching. So that's fantastic. So it's self-paced and convenient, made to fit in around your lifestyle and where you're at. And what's the name of the program?
Improving Your Relationships.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Improving your relationships. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So I know I diverted there, but I just thought, well, whilst we're talking about what you're passionate about, the happy faces on the kids, and one way that you can get that is, improving your relationship with yourself and with those around you, because it all starts within, doesn't it? And then, then a ripple effect out to the kids. Beautiful. So down the track, with all this wonderful, awesome stuff that you're doing, what sort of legacy would you like to leave?
Oh, one where children have got an education with conflict resolution at the forefront, with communication. One where children know how to interact with each other as they grow up and form their own relationships in a healthy and positive way.
Yeah, healthy and positive way. Absolutely love that, healthy and positive way. Because, I mean, with 24/7 world and everything, kids are exposed to so much on the telly, on the social media and stuff, and all those stupid shows on telly and showing all that. It's not, doesn't have to be normal, all these fights and nastiness, and it's the bad energy, right? So teaching kids that or building up their awareness that we can have really awesome connections and we can have conflict, but resolve it in a healthy and happy way. That's so beautiful, Lorrie. It's awesome.
Thank you.
I really
he set that example. Imagine what the world could look like.
Oh my gosh, imagine. Like, that's the theme in HMP, one of the network groups we're in. The theme this year is just imagine what we could do. So imagine if the world could spin around and be in the happy vibes, not the sad, angry vibes, because I know which way I want to be. Life's too short for all this nastiness and anger and blame and guilt. And what did you say? We've got Penny Pride and Eddy Ego. Let's just shut them at the door, right? Don't let them in anymore.
They're the unwanted house guests that we don't have to welcome.
That's 100% unwanted house guests. I love it. Unwanted house guests. Oh, great. So how else can people get in contact with you? So you're running that program called, oh, hang on, where is it? Oh,
Improving your relationships.
Improving your relationships. Lost my spot. Sorry. Improving your relationship program. Yep. And best way is like LinkedIn or website, or what have we got?
Yeah, so they can find me online at familylawservices.online. And then I'm on Instagram and Facebook as well, Family Law Services Online.
Okay, perfect. Because what I'll do is I'll put it in the comments here and put it on all the posts. Well, Lorrie, it's been such a delight to chat with you. I love what you're doing. It's more than ever. Having been through this myself and the flow-on effect with the kids, if you can just improve any sort of conflict within family situations and provide, particularly with kids, the tools and techniques to help resolve conflict in a happy and healthy way, you know, the world's going to be a much better and happier place for it. So I really commend what you're doing and having the balls to step out and, you know, take it that next step, because this is what the world is needing right now. So thank you so much for being a guest on today.
Thank you so much for having me, Sally. It's been amazing.
Look forward to seeing all your wonderful work down the track, baby. Okay, we'll see you next week. See you later.
See you.